Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of F1 2014 Career Mode, where you just saw the news. We have signed officially with Ferrari to partner Sebastian Vettel, who will be departing Red Bull next season in F1 2015. An all new lineup at the Ferrari team. We're coming off of two back-to-back Grand Prix victories here in F1 2014 in a head-to-head fight with Fernando Alonso with just two Grand Prix episodes to go. Today, we head to Brazil, Sao Paulo, a very fun circuit. Let's get after it. We're ready to qualify here in Sao Paulo as we kick off our lap, head down in towards turn number one. Quite cautious into turn number one there. But Sebastian Vettel, of course, in the news as well, alongside myself. They announced both drivers this episode going to Ferrari. Only 2 episodes remain. Now, I can confirm on this qualifying lap that there will be a break in between F1 2014 and 2015 for 2 reasons. As you guys know, we do 1 episode a week. Well, we have 2 weeks left of this series. After that, F1 24 will be releasing, so it's going to be basically a month of just focus on that F1 24 game, as of course there's going to be a lot of excitement and hype, I would say, around that, as I'm really dealing with both worlds of this car right now, understeer and oversteer. I don't like that, and that's not going to make for a good qualifying effort. But second reason, I need to find a way to get F1 2015 on Steam, and hopefully I can do that soon enough. But once I do that, I will let you guys know on that one, as it's going to be a pretty rough qualifying effort. Like I said, it was understeering and oversteering all in the same corners, so that was not a fun middle sector, really. Sector 2 I felt like was where we lost everything, so that's not going to set up for a good position. Let's see, it's going to be about 14th place here in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Honestly, that's better than I expected to, so I will take that. Hamilton on pole, of course, already locking up that driver's championship. Here we go then, ready to take the grid and go lights out here in Sao Paulo. We're on the white striped option tire. We'll of course go on to the prime a little bit later on here. Now 18 laps of racing, so some work to do in these 18 laps to go from 14th to hopefully maybe a podium. We have been so strong recently. Now we are lights out and we're racing from Sao Paulo, and it's a pretty sluggish start from myself, but you know what, no one behind us really gets a good start either, so that gives us a good opportunity to just kind of maintain. At least I don't really have many options here. They're 4 wide in front of me. That is going to get a little bit sketchy, but I'm going to try and force the issue. Of course, we've got 2 wins under our belt. We're fighting Fernando Alonso for second in the championship. Now our 3rd season, of course, in this game-by-game series going into season 4 will be F1 2015 alongside Sebastian Vettel. Of course, there's no actual career mode in that game, so I can confirm that I will quite simply be playing as Kimi Räikkönen, unless there's maybe a mod where you can change driver names that could mod my name in there, but we'll figure it out either way here. Now, a good start up to P7 right there. That's where I'm really noticing as soon as we kind of kick off Sector 2, the understeer in this car is quite heavy, but then you come through this sweeping left-hander and it's just like it really wants to oversteer. So you're getting, you know, the worst of both worlds in this car right now on that 2nd sector. But once you get to the back half of this track here, now the final sector, of course, Sector 3 is so easy here in Brazil, but it just cleans right up. So Sector 1 and 3 are definitely where we're going to have to maximize our potential and capabilities out of this car here today. Look at the run we got on the back of Nico Hülkenberg here. He's going to go defensive into turn 1. I'm going to lunge one around the outside, and we're going to clear him with ease at the apex now. So just like that, up into 6th position, as Hamilton is not leading. He is currently down in 2nd place. Valtteri Bottas, P5. We'll try and chase him down. The speed in this car feels to be honest, quite tremendous. We got good straight line speed. Sector 1, like I said, it's really hooked up. It's just that Sector 2, it's more about just kind of maintaining. I'm not really focused on gaining anything here, as we'll close in on that Williams of Bottas. Right there is where that understeer loves to kick in, but I'm pretty happy so far with what we've got. And the focus, I mean, in these final 2 rounds isn't necessarily winning and beating Lewis Hamilton. Now we've got our future lined up. We're going to Ferrari, but the focus now is just beating Fernando Alonso. Kevin Magnussen has gotten up to P7 and now has a run on me. Actually going to go up the inside. I'm just going to outbrake him into turn 1, and there we go. case closed for now at least. But yeah, that really finding ourselves, I think, as we go further through the grid, it's going to be getting much tougher to pass because of the fact that I'm struggling so much in that second sector. A defensive move up there from whoever's in front of Valtteri Bottas. That's Ricciardo, and that's opened up a great opportunity for myself. We are all about being aggressive here late in this season. 2 wheels off the track right there. We get the overtake done, and we can focus in on Danny Rick here, get this car to just hook up a little bit, and now it's just, okay, maintain as much as we can through this sector. We're gonna have DRS right here, and that's gonna make it a pretty easy overtake on Ricciardo. Now here we go, slipstream, he's in harvesting mode. We get that DRS open, that rear wing opens right up. We breeze past the Red Bull up into the top 4 at least now. Hamilton is now out in front, so Alonso just set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well, so don't rule anything out there, as Ricciardo is engaged in a pretty interesting wheel-to-wheel combat battle. But it's Hamilton, Vettel, Alonso, myself, and obviously a pretty lengthy gap between myself and those guys. 5 whole seconds if we want to run down Fernando. So we just kind of got to settle in here in these overcast conditions, try to hook this thing up and close that gap. Alonso again sets the quickest lap at 1:14.081, and I'm pretty sure we've hit a point now where I feel like I'm going to be kind of in a no man's land for the rest of this race. The gap is increasing, 6.7 seconds. You know, I can't make up the difference that we're losing in Sector 2 and Sector 1 and 3. And yeah, I don't think it's a driving issue from me. I think it's AI are just really good through this sector, and I am just, yeah, I'm not able to replicate what they are because I'm feeling pretty good about what I'm doing through it, but clearly it's not going to be enough. And actually now here comes Kimi Räikkönen, who is starting to reel me in. Something went wrong with Vettel. He's down to 3rd, and he's only 5 seconds in front. Not sure exactly what happened. Maybe he was battling with Lewis and had a bit of a moment, went off track. Definitely had to have been an off-track adventure for him, but now the gap to Vettel, 4.8. So a couple laps have gone by, and I have since been able to stabilize the gap to both Räikkönen, who was kind of closing in there, as well as Vettel. He's not really pulling away. Hamilton actually backs up what Alonso's been doing and now sets the quickest lap himself. Alonso has run Hamilton down as well, so it's going to be interesting to watch that. We are pitting at the end of this lap. We'll put on the prime tire, but yeah, overall the pace right now has kind of worked itself out. We're not really losing right now. Vettel is 4 seconds ahead, but the thing is, I don't really see myself getting closer than that. Now we could maybe try something here and go for a bit of an overcut. We have done that, of course, in previous races earlier in the season after some suggestions from comments, and it worked pretty well. And I think, honestly, today is a good opportunity to try that because I just don't have the pace to run those guys down straight up right now. So I think that's going to be the opportunity that if we want to get them late, we might as well try something. I mean, we don't really have much else to lose. So yeah, we're going to try the overcut here and run a few extra laps. Vettel and Alonso both into the pits. So Hamilton, of course, going to stay out a bit longer here. He'll be coming in at the end of this lap. I am really slipping and sliding there, but yeah, Hamilton's going to stay out to the end of this lap, and I'm thinking I'm going to aim for the end of lap 10 or 11. Räikkönen pits now, Hamilton in as well. You can see the sky a little bit there of clearing. The sun is starting to come out, or at least it's making an attempt here now. But now it's all about maximizing this next lap or two. And the car, I mean, it doesn't really feel, it's one of those rare races. It's interesting. We haven't had the pace that I've wanted, but it's one of the rare races where the car has felt relatively the same from the beginning of the run to late in the run. And usually, you know, you get so much oversteer, but the car overall, the balance has felt tremendous. So we're gonna probably stick it to the end of lap 11. So we'll stay out this lap as I go quite wide, but we'll stay out this lap. We'll come in at the end of the next one. We have actually ran a pretty competitive lap here. Hamilton, now I'm paying attention to the gap. He isn't really gaining much on me. I think we're gonna run one more lap. Let's do one more, and then of course we'll come into the pits and sort things out. I mean, look at the tire wear. It's not very high. It's a very low tire wear track here in this game, but a relatively competitive lap for the amount of laps that we have on our tires. So we'll come in at the end here of lap 12. Hamilton, I mean, over the course of this lap's only gained about 0.6 of a second. So we'll come into the pits now, and yeah, I mean, oh wow, such a different pit lane entry here actually in 2014, I guess. But we'll come in and get the prime tire on. So Hamilton's going to breeze by. Alonso's going to breeze by. Unfortunately, Alonso's the guy we have to beat. Actually, he is nowhere as close to Hamilton as I thought. I don't think I'm going to be able to run him down, but there goes Sebastian Vettel. And I mean, this is going to work out pretty well because now we're going to be on these new tires. I don't even know if I have control of the car yet. Now I do. So we're going to be still ahead of all these cars that were semi-close to us. Look at this. Raikkonen is next behind us, and by staying out longer, even before we put on the new set of tires, we're still further ahead of him than we were. And we are 4.8 seconds back from Vettel, which is only, basically, we've lost 0.8 of a second by staying out an additional 4 laps, and now we have extremely fresh rubber. We could maybe run down Vettel and Alonso here. Sector 2, I'm still expecting to be a loss, but I'm hoping that we can still make it up over the rest of the lap now with this tire advantage. 5 seconds flat. That's the gap that we need to focus in on to run down Sebastian Vettel to get ourselves on to the podium. Let's see if we can actually pull it off here now as we'll focus in on 5 laps remaining. Now sector 1 of course ends right here down this straightaway. Let's see if we've even gained anything. We gained 1/10 of a second, so it's obviously a bit difficult to gain time in sector 1 considering how simple it is. A couple of corners and then you're done. But Hamilton of course on cruise control today, as he has been all season long. He wasn't in the last couple of races, of course, and in Russia, of course, we were able to get the best of him. And last episode, obviously, it came down to more just luck and strategy, but we still were able to pick up that win there, and that was a lot of fun. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the only 2 wins we'll get this season, but let's see if we can still aim for a podium here today. Now 3 laps to go, and the gap isn't really doing anything. It's staying about 5 seconds, so even with the fresh tire advantage and whatnot, it's just nothing seems to be materializing. And even after staying out all those extra laps, getting that fresh rubber advantage, it's not really meaning anything. So tire wear has been pretty low across the board, so it's not necessarily the most surprising thing in the world, but I definitely was kind of expecting a bit more pace compared to these AI with the advantage that we had, but it is what it is. I mean, I felt like we have done everything we could have done so far here in this Grand Prix. I mean, we went for a different strategy to at least try to make something happen, and it just hasn't quite worked. So it is what it is. Now it's really just about bringing it home, because we are certainly not going to run down Sebastian Vettel before this is over. We do have some blue flags for Vettel, who's going to be trying to get around some lap cars, and I just wonder if that is maybe an opportunity to get up a little bit closer to him. But I can see right now he's definitely not having an easy time, but I think he's gotten past at least. Oh my god, what are you doing, my guy? That is maybe the worst spot I've ever seen someone move over. Yeah, we're definitely not gonna be able to get Vettel now. That's unfortunate. Look at this. Thank you, gentlemen. They move over on the straightaway. We breeze on through. Vettel's only 2.4 seconds up the road, but I am over here driving horrendously there. But 2.4 seconds. Vettel is the next car in front of us. Not enough time, but he's probably going to stretch out the gap now. He doesn't really have any traffic to actually worry about, so it's just about bringing it home on this final lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix here in Sao Paulo. Lewis Hamilton, pure dominance. It's back to form for him after a couple of episodes off, and now of course he has already locked up that world championship there in the driver's side of things. Mercedes has absolutely dominated the constructors. We've won both championships there, so I mean, I'm glad that our role helped a little bit. 2.4 seconds to Vettel. Hamilton gets the job done, and the driver we actually needed to focus on beating was Fernando Alonso. Unfortunately for us, P2 for Alonso will bring him a little bit further ahead going into the series finale in Abu Dhabi in the next episode. P4, I couldn't have done any better. That was the absolute maximum I had, and I'm happy that we were at least able to achieve that. And there we see the finishing results. So Alonso second, 8 seconds back. Then of course Vettel, myself, anybody that and DNF, Kimi Räikkönen in the Ferrari out of the race. Rounding out the top 10, Pastor Maldonado actually gets the top 10 here for Lotus now as you look at the driver's standings. So 7 points is the gap between myself and Alonso. And we're just going to focus on doing the best we can. I'm not going to really worry about points. I'm just going to quite simply go into Abu Dhabi and just do whatever I can to get the best result that I can and hope that's going to be enough. So there is a bit of a battle between Ferrari and Red Bull still for P2, but it looks pretty well sorted that it will be Red Bull second, Ferrari third, unless something crazy happens. But that's going to do it for me. I'll see you guys in the next episode, the season finale, series finale of F1 2014 from Abu Dhabi. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.